Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video with Lifestyle Library. My name is Christopher Lawton, just as a reminder, but today I want to talk about my battle with alcohol. My battle with alcohol started at a young age. I was only 14 years old when I had my first drink, and from then on out it's been a problem in my life ever since. I'll fast forward a few years when I joined the military and I got into my first serious consequence with alcohol. I was 19 years old, stationed over there in Germany, and decided to go out to this club with a bunch of people I didn't really know and I wasn't really comfortable with because I just met them that night at a dorm party. So we drive out to this nightclub, and as we were approaching the nightclub, I remember stopping at an ATM. And when I got to the ATM, I remember the cab driver kind of honking at me. So I got back in the cab and we continued to the nightclub. And when I got to the nightclub, all I remember is kind of like walking through the line and processing through the line, showing my ID and getting my stamp on my hand. Because when you're 19 in Germany, you can drink at all the bars. So you only have to be 18 years of age. What happened next was something that kind of changed my life forever. I'm lucky to be alive because of it, because I don't really know how I got there, but looking back on it now, I think it was my subconscious mind trying to commit suicide. But what happened was I had fallen off of the parking garage that the nightclub was on top of, and I was transported to a German hospital where I was unresponsive for a while. I mean, my body was responsive, I was still alive, I just wasn't conscious. And I only remember waking up 3 days later in the military hospital nearby. So I was in this German hospital for 2 days and not knowing exactly where I was or who I was, and I don't remember anything about being in the German hospital. When I did wake up, I saw my supervisor and my commander, my first sergeant, all standing over top of me, kind of like in spurts, because I would wake up for a little bit and go back to sleep, and wake up for a little bit, go back to sleep. I was young, I was dumb. That's what I blamed it on, is that I was just young and stupid, and I didn't really think I had a problem with alcohol then. So when I went to the mandatory alcohol class that they put me in, I didn't really take it seriously as I should have, because I didn't think I had a problem. I thought I just got too drunk one night and fell off a parking garage. We'll fast forward a year later to when I got to Shaw Air Force Base in South Carolina. I started to drink a lot more after my second deployment, and I didn't realize it then, but I was really becoming distant from my family and just cutting everybody off and not realizing that I was pushing everybody away that I loved. That hurt me too, to notice that my son was feeling neglected and that I was choosing alcohol and video games over them. Really makes you question yourself as a man in your decisions in life. So when I noticed I had a drinking problem again and that I was starting to push my family away, that's when I decided to check myself back into this alcohol rehabilitation program, and I took it a little bit more serious, and I was sober for 9 months after that, until I relapsed, thinking that I can control how much I drink, and I had control of the alcohol. So I started drinking again, and for the first few months I could control it. I had good control of the alcohol. I wasn't getting blackout drunk every night, but I was drinking every day, and I still was drinking every day, and I was still playing video games every day, and I was choosing to drink instead of doing things that made me happy, like writing and reading and blogging and vlogging. Like, I was doing all these things that I thought were gonna make me happy, and they didn't. They just didn't. They didn't fill that void that I was trying to fill. So there I am. I'm drinking, and then I go on another deployment. And on this deployment, you can drink there, but you can only drink about 3 drinks a day. So there's nothing really to get blackout drunk on or like really cause a drinking problem. However, it was just enough to keep my drinking problem intact, to where like I was getting that taste of alcohol every day, so I wasn't technically sober, but I was drinking enough to where it was a problem. And when I got back from my deployment, that's when I got the news that my dad wasn't doing so good. He was battling lung cancer at the time, stage 4. I came home, and when I came home to Illinois, that's when my dad passed away a few months later on a hospice care, and I had to hold his hand. And I was grateful that I was holding his hand when he took his last breath, and he knew how much I loved him and how much I appreciated him as a father. But it really messed me up mentally, to where I was starting to question who I was as a person, and really looking at my values, and just becoming depressed and guilty and shameful on who I was as a person and what I valued in life. And I started drinking a lot more, and I went out with a coworker a few coworkers, 3 weekends in a row, and I got blackout drunk each time. And the last time I said I was going to kill myself, which really made me think that when I fell off that parking garage, that was my subconscious mind pushing me over the ledge. The thought of suicide was never present in my mind consciously, but subconsciously, every time that I would drink or become blackout drunk, I would mention the thought of suicide or my plan of suicide. And I don't want to trigger anybody with that, but for me, that was the first tell sign that I kept ignoring, was like, oh, I was just drunk, don't worry about me, I'm fine, but I wasn't fine. And I had to realize that, and I had to come to that realization before I could force myself to go get help. And that's what I did, and that's where I'm at now, is I went and got help. I enrolled myself not only in an alcohol rehabilitation program, but a mental health program as well, so I could challenge those underlying issues as to why I was drinking. And now I'm 45 days sober, and I'm living my best life, and I'm loving life, and I'm really appreciating all the blessings and the teachings that I'm learning from this mental health class that I'm in. Because now I can control my emotions, I can challenge my thoughts, I can really appreciate the present moment that I'm in. I can practice my mindfulness techniques to get out of my own head and become back to the moment that I'm in right now, which is talking to you guys. And I couldn't be more blessed to help you guys along with your journey. I want you guys to know that I love you so much, and I love each and every one of you out there, and that if you ever need anything, just know that I've been through the pain. I've hated myself. I've gotten through it. I realized what it means to be happy in my life for the first time in over 12 years. So if you ever feel like you need to talk to somebody, you can talk to me, or I'm going to post the suicide hotline number in my blog. You guys call them if you feel like you ever have to make that decision between life and death, because I promise you, you are worth living. You are enough. Keep that clear mind. Keep that positive mindset. Just know that no matter what you're going to, this too shall pass. You have made it through 100% of the things that you have already gone through. You got this. The power that you have, the power that we all possess, is unbelievably larger than what we imagine it is. We can do so much more that if we just set our minds to it and think positive thoughts, we will receive positive results. Thank you guys for listening to my story. I love you guys so, so much. I'm sorry it got a little bit deep. But until next time, deuces.